So, we paid off the resource points for the camp. And, well, I believe we have to talk to this guy. Okay, so this guy's going to have us go off and get some iron. And I should probably answer a quick question for any of those that are probably wondering, well, if this is such a luck-based game, and if it's such an issue, why play it? Unless you're speedrunning this game, it's rarely really repetitive. The only time when it really gets repetitive is, again, either speedrunning or trying to get that one item that you just absolutely have to get. I love the environments here. I love the music. And I especially love the monster designs, with the exception of a few. But, oh, by the way, these are felines. These are returning from earlier Monster Hunter games. These guys won't mess with you unless you mess with them. Or if a monster messes with them, then they'll come and mess with you. I don't know why. It just, that's how it works. But, so we're off to go get iron, and we've been given a mega pickaxe to go after this iron. Now, this mega pickaxe is the highest level pickaxe, I believe. Or if it's not, then it's up there, and I'm not thinking. And so we have to go over to this area and start, well, mining. We can either, I believe it's press A, or in this case it's press A. If I were to go off and, like, say I have this item selected, and if I go over to another mining point, I could press A and just use the pickaxe right away. I sort of have a habit of switching over to the pickaxe because I've been playing Monster Hunter for years, and this right here is a trope I'm really much a fan of. But unfortunately, our weapons do degrade and they do break. And so, yeah. In this case, however, the Mega Pickaxe broke a little bit sooner than I wanted it to. Because, well, Mega Pickaxes are awesome. And we're not going to be seeing those again for a little while, unfortunately. And, well, if I'm going to point out one more thing here, is that in Monster Hunter Tri, this cave, as well as every other fucking cave in the game, was dark as hell. You couldn't see jack shit. And so that's something that you really needed a torch for. In this case, they've brightened up the caves a bit, and I'm very much thankful for that. Okay. Now, for the first bit of this game, it's going to be a lot of back and forthing. And that's because, well, again, we're helping this village recover a little bit from the last earthquake, which is apparently being caused by the Lagiacrus. And I'll say it right now, we are in no position to be fighting the Lagiacrus. And that should say how powerful that son of a bitch is. But whenever we have a villager request, we always talk to Junior here, or the chief's son. He doesn't like being called Junior for some reason. Okay, this is weird. That's not supposed to happen for a little while, I think. But let me take a look here, because something doesn't seem right. All this right here, we're going to be meeting a buddy called Cha-Cha here in a little while. But these requests here are not supposed to be here for some time. I don't know why. I'm not seeing the... Did I get the iron ore that I needed? Yes, I did, but the request is not up, so maybe I have to talk to this guy. Okay, so the chief has paid us, and so that's really cool. But let me talk to this guy one more time. I'm guessing it's I guess we automatically just give it to him. Oh shit! If you press B during the middle of the conversation, generally you cut out of it really quickly. Huh. I might be missing something here because I'm sort of speeding my way through this. Or maybe I could just go back for another hunt or something. I'm not thinking. And so this is our farm. And what we do at our farm is that we grow crops. It's not like the farm back in the other Monster Hunter games where, what was it? Where we had all these areas and we just sort of searched them. In this case, no, we physically grow and we multiply our items. So let me just take a quick gander over here. All right. Yeah, perhaps I need to go back into the woods again. Maybe I have to visit the camp. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I am going to cut real quick because reasons. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I had a massive dumbass moment. Junior's not the only character in the game to have requests. There's also this right here, which I completely missed, because when I'm thinking of villager requests, I'm always thinking of the chief's son. So, yeah, you actually have to go to the smithy in order to complete the quest. And so that was completely on me that time. But now we can move on. Just don't be running around like a dumbass like I was. But again, I don't know why these are being like they're up, because we haven't even met Cha-Cha yet. And this is generally the time when we are first going to the farm. And we have a few things available to us already. But for the most part, we have to progress through the game in order to upgrade it more. And we upgrade these by doing, you guessed it, villager requests. So we're going to need a lot of resource points. In fact, I believe that's an achievement in this game, is that you have to collect 1,000,000 resource points. And as you get going through the game, the resource points that you get larger and larger. So so long as you're persistent, over time you'll eventually get it. I was completely overlooking just about everything that guy said. But yeah, so we have a feline helper. Felines can speak for some reason. They're bipedal, but I'm not going to question it because they're so freaking adorable. And these guys, well, we get 3 worker felines, and they all give you the option of changing their names. Let's see. I'm gonna name him Spice. Why not? I'm just gonna talk to this guy again, just for the giggles. Let's cultivate. And so let's say we got a blue mushroom here. This is one of the things I believe was given to us by, I think, a child, I guess? I wasn't paying attention. But this is one of the items that we get from our hunt report. And this helps shrooms grow better. And actually, that 5,000 that I was sort of on and off about earlier, that's the points that we start off with. That's weird. I never noticed that. I've only done one save file on this game, and you probably guess I've done well over 100 hours of this game. It just goes to show that I enjoy it that much. But let's go and talk to this guy again. Okay, this is the part where we're gonna go and we're going fishing. That's what's gonna go on here. But I believe this is the first part in the game where the whole RNG factor, well, not really RNG, but the luck-based factor in this game gets a little more apparent. So now the entire map is open to us. This is awesome. And the area that we're going to is Area 11. I'm going to cut through Area 8. In fact, Area 8 is a place that I highly recommend having mapped out in your brain, because we are going to be eventually taking on large monsters, and Area 8 is a resting spot for them. So that's, if you're ever wondering where a large monster is at, check Area 8. On this map, anyway, there are multiple maps, obviously. This is just one of several, and Area 8 just so happens to be that monster's rest spot, which for some reason there's Jaggies in here. I don't know why. But now what we're going to do is we're jumping off a cliff. And suddenly cutscene. This is one of those games where it's perfectly fine to be afraid of what's in the water. Particularly in one map, which is the Flooded Forest. And that is like half water. And so I'm using the Wii U gamepad for this, and this is something to keep in mind, is that the best way to control how you swim around in the water is to control your camera. Don't really move with your control stick, as I am doing right now. Use your camera. If you hold up and you're moving your camera around, you will move in that direction. You have all sorts of mobility underwater, but you just so happen to be slower, and your depth perception is just a bit off. That's the key thing to keep in mind here. And so I'm going to get the fishing harpoon out at the ready. I believe if I press Y, I can go ahead and use it. This is one of those items that can break. So, yeah, that's very much a possibility. These guys go down in one hit, and I believe what we're looking for is a big fin. Possibly two big fins. All I know is that I have awful luck, and see, I got raw meat right there. That is just, oh my god, that's horrible. And another thing to keep in mind, you are underwater, so you have an air meter. Look right next to where your name is on the upper left-hand side, and you can see your oxygen gauge. So, yeah, don't drown. There are bubbles of air that you can see every now and again popping out of the water. Or, I guess, popping, it's in the water anyway. But, keep Area 12 here in mind. You see that little area of ore right here? If I had a pickaxe on me, I could show you. This is a great area for mining resources. It's only that one resource area, but it holds a lot, and it holds something called Macalite, also known as Sparrow Stone in this game. And it is a joy to have. It is a great spot, and you're going to need a lot of Macalite in this game. And as you progress more and more, you can, well, you can get more and more Macalite, but when you're starting off, that is the area that you want to be at. Okay, so I didn't get that big fin, and I'm a little bit mad because my luck is horrible. So I think I might need to reset the map. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But don't worry about that. If you're looking off in the distance, you saw a monster there. That's an herbivore. They won't harm you unless you harm them. But let me look around here. I don't think... I just realized that I have my gamepad volume up. Okay, once you get to this stage, you can just instantly return to village. So I'm going to do that right now. I might need to go back and hunt a couple more of those guys. The luck factor in this game can be really annoying unless you're a person that tends to be the lucky type. Okay, and what this guy's going to do, he's going to give us an armor sphere, which is used to upgrade our armor. It gives us a little more defense so we can survive more hits. Okay, so we were just going after him. Alright. So, there are typically no character names other than the player character. And so, in this case, we have the village chief. The person handling our quest is the guild sweetheart. But, For now, we just got a bunch of dough, and I'm going to go ahead and talk to this guy. And I'm going to go over to armor, and let's see. Just take a look here. This is all sorts of armor that we can go off and make. We need materials to make these, and we need a little bit of money in order to, well, fund the creation. You need materials in order to create armor and upgrade armor. In this case, if you just want to buy armor outright, you can go to this lady. And I might need to amend my previous statement about upgrading armor using materials. There was something called overforging in Monster Hunter Tri, where you can upgrade from low rank to high rank grade armor by literally just putting in so much upgrades into it to the point where you had to upgrade it with materials. I'm not sure if that's the case here. I don't think it is. But anyways, I'm going to probably buy some armor outright. The top window over on the left is your current armor. The bottom is, well, the armor that is being sold. And everything in blue are improvements. And everything in red are, you know, not good. So, and depending on your hunter type, it determines on what sort of armor your character can wear. All hunters can wear the same helmets, but in terms of everything else, it can be restricted to a blade master or a gunner. So I believe in this case, let's see how much money I have. I have just enough in order to get all 5 parts, assuming I don't mess up and accidentally buy 2 of the same thing. And what's it? You're probably seeing something called slots on there, and you see an empty space. We'll get into that later too. That's for no, I'm not gonna buy 2 of those. No, thank you. But when we eventually get into skills, that will come into play. Yeah, there is a lot to remember in this game, but at the same time, there's also a lot to enjoy. And what else? Okay, I guess she's just talking about the base camp. This is basically the de facto armor that you typically see in every Monster Hunter game. I don't know why, but you know, it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go to the chest here. I'm gonna store some items. So always have whetstones on you. Just FYI, whetstones will sharpen your weapon. As you use your weapon, it will degrade, and to the point of being completely useless. And that is my phone going off, and unfortunately I can't take a call right now, so that was embarrassing and completely unprofessional. And I'm pretty sure that was my brother too, and that's definitely not good. But what was I getting at? But yeah, whetstones is something that you want to have on you all the time. Your weapon degrades in sharpness as you attack enemies, and as a result, your weapons become less effective in terms of damage, and they can also start bouncing off the hide of the enemy, which is definitely not good. Alright, and so the first few quests, I'm pretty sure this is going to irritate some of you, but it's probably going to be some gathering. So this is something that I am going to break over, and I will see you guys again when we are ready to take on our first few series of quests. See you then.